Rockadia.com.
Hey, we are 2/5 of Centiment and In Me, and we're going to answer some questions for Rockadia.
So there's 5 people in me, isn't there?
Oh yeah. Question 1. Rockadia are introducing a new interview feature whereby fans are invited to host an interview post by submitting questions. Here, our very own reviewer, Mark McConville, has submitted these questions for you.
I feel like that might be a statement, not a question. It is labelled as number 1, so we should answer it with "we approve."
Very well done.
Good idea.
We are 100% on board.
Yeah.
As long as we're allowed pints.
Didn't say if we're allowed or not.
Yeah. Well, we're over 30, so we're allowed pints.
Over 30 units a day.
30 pints. It should be more like 65, 70. Anyway, let's get on with the interview.
Yes.
Question 2. Hope this one's an actual question.
Question 1.
Centiment is a progressive band, very unique in sound and formula.
Bless you.
When you started the band, were you looking for that particular sound? Greg's been making sentiment music since about 2000, 2001, and yeah, it's always been pretty progressive and heavy and interesting and weird. But I think once we got me singing instead of Greg, it totally changed the sound. Perhaps became a bit more accessible even.
I think so. I saw the original Centiment, and it's a completely different animal. It's essentially shouldn't really be the same name because so much of it is different. Obviously with Dave not on the drums and now singing, and then every other member different apart from Neil, isn't it? And the music. You know, now there was always the electronica in the old Centiment, but now with the more sort of 16-bit stuff, it's become an integral thing. I think, yeah, it's not what Greg initially set out to do, but when he first set out to do it, it was just first band, wasn't it? You know, not really. I think.
Right. This is weird because we're just actually looking at ourselves.
I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, we know you do. Me not so much. Question 3. Streets of Rage is a colossal record, an ambitious effort, full of adventurous guitar lines and supreme wordplay. Did you change any of your style when it came to penning lyrics?
Or did it use a pen?
The music didn't change at all. The music comes first for Centiment, or at least does thus far. So I'd sit in a pub, much like this, and I'd just listen to the song on repeat over and over again.
And then think, what absurd stuff can I sing over it, essentially?
Yeah, I basically punish myself. Yeah, because I've got to go and do a tour tomorrow, and probably will die on stage because I forgot when recording the album that you also have to breathe to exist. So there we go.
It's a bit more risque in terms of lyrical content as well, which some fans have really taken to. Some fans have been a bit like, oh, it's a bit too punk or something, but
a bit too sweary.
It's sweary, shouting about religion and booze and stuff like that. It's basically us in
religion
the
and
pub, but
booze.
if we were talking in shouts. It's a fly.
There's a fly.
Perhaps you'll die. Yes.
Can you not do that around my...
We discussed if I accidentally spilt a pint onto the keyboard during the interview, would it be funny?
It would.
Maybe viral.
It would be funny in about 3 years' time.
Yeah. Band fails at interview.
Question 4. Centiment is touring in February. You must be looking forward to getting out there and playing songs off the new record.
No, not really.
Be glad when it's over, to be honest.
It's a bit of a pain in the arse, just gets in the way of the social life, this band's shit.
No, we are. it's one of those things like Christmas when you're a kid. It feels like it takes about 5 years to come. So when we announce the tour in November, it's always like one of those things that never comes along, and then now it's tomorrow when we start. So yeah, very excited and also terrified at the same time because I'm not holding a guitar, which is scary. But we're older and wiser. There's not much. We don't pressure ourselves too much. If something goes wrong, just turn it into a positive thing and have a good time.
And generally point and laugh at each other with that.
Yeah.
That's the standard coping strategy for mistakes, and then kind of poke our tongue out at each other, shake your head, and go, I'm a twat. Deal with it. Wrong note.
Question 5. You're loaded with inspiration.
That says perspiration.
You have placed it into many ventures. What inspired you to take Centiment to the next level by releasing an album?
Well,
basically, it got to the point where Greg had finished the music, and I needed to finish the vocals, and we saw a window of opportunity. In August, I had time off, so I went and just got it done. And it felt like it took a long time. And then we also had time off from In Me and solo, so we did it September, October time. We knew we had time to prepare for a pledge campaign, and then we knew In Me was going to take a break for a while still. And solo-wise, my solo album campaign was just coming to an end, so there you go. It became a real thing. And now we're going on tour. Yeah, right.
Here's your 30p. Here's your 30p.
40p.
True. It's 2014.
You just put 2p in my wallet, didn't you?
Yeah, so you only owe 28 now.
Okay. Cool. Royalties. 6. There is a retro feel to the record. You take influence from gaming. What made you add that element?
Well, the games market's massive, and we want to be massive, so we thought that's a good combination, isn't it?
I suppose. I mean, the album itself isn't that heavily influenced by games. It's more just whatever we wanted to.
A couple of song titles.
Explore. Song titles, yeah, little homages,
little nods,
references. But I don't know. We're all gamers, and we grew up as gamers.
I'm a really good gamer.
Really?
No. Flappy Bird. I got 11 on that. First one in the band to get a decent score. Then Greg's now got 72.
I don't think we can talk about games seriously if you're going to talk about Flappy Bird.
Yeah, it's disrespectful to because it's been taken down now.
I've still got it. It just seemed fun, you know. Most metal albums are dragons and or bringing down the government, and you know, I'm not going to sing about stuff I don't know enough to sing about. So we took individual topics, you know, bad relationships and watching your mates be in bad relationships. Booze. There's a song about booze, but it starts a bit tongue-in-cheek and then it gets a little bit dark.
Yeah. As does alcoholism. Starts off a few pints, then you're in the gutter. That was just last night.
Actually, this is really helping.
I know, it's going down quickly.
The hangover. Where are we?
In the Swan in Brentwood.
Oh yeah. Question 7. There are many genres explored within the Centiment camp. Was it easy to join them together, and did you explore new techniques? It was pretty simple, really, because Greg writes all the music, so
it was automatic, really, wasn't it?
For us, it was like, oh, it's all done. And then vocally, yeah, I'm not trying to be sort of an in me singing over a sentiment. I'm trying to do something different with it. It's a little bit more tongue-in-cheek here and there. It's a little bit crazy. There's a lot more experimental vocals with the whole screaming and growling.
There's even a borderline, almost scatty kind of rap bit, isn't there, in Defenders Oasis?
Yeah.
One of my personal highlights.
Melodic rap. I can't not melodic rap. I can't pull it off. Being a idiot from Brentwood. The only rapping I've done before is Boom Shake the Room. So there you go. What we got? A.
I've got hiccups actually.
As a musician, it must feel great to have so many outlets, as well as having many projects on the go. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, lets you, when something would be too heavy for in me, rather than in me start doing absurd, like, breakdown, gent sort of stuff, that we've got that kind of thing in Sentiment. Dave's obviously got all his solo stuff for things that'd be too soft for in me. So, yeah, it lets us sort of mess about with loads of different areas and satisfy all the different sides of our musical personalities, I guess.
there we go. And
What
for
he
me,
said.
I read an interview that said about, not an interview, a review, basically saying that we were trying to niche a sound in order for it to be successful, which has never been the truth.
Very
for
much
us.
in the same way the reviewer was trying to be controversial.
First go, mate. Well
But
done.
we never. Some people, for some reason, think it's selfish, but we make music solely for ourselves, and then, luckily, other people come along for the ride. We didn't go right. Let's do this metal album with the game reference and become millionaires, because that's not going to happen. We just make music we like, and with all the different outlets we can explore lots of fun things. Music's fun, so
It's a passion that you get to sort of do as a job sometimes.
yeah. And it used to be, in me would do an album every 2 or 3 years, and then be complacent and not do an awful lot in the meantime. Whereas in this day and age, with all the platforms like Pledge and Bandcamp, you can, if you fancy putting something out, put it out. There's no rules to anything really in music. People say there are, but
It's the same debate that's going on with TV at the moment, isn't it? Because Netflix just released some series and they did it all in one go rather than drip feed it over numerous weeks. And it's quite interesting. You don't have to stick the original format of you've got something on for an hour and then there's adverts or whatever. It doesn't have to be like that. You can do a series, could be 15-minute episode, be 2-hour episodes, whatever. Same with music. Albums don't have to be 12 tracks every 2 years. You could just exclusively release EPs or singles if you wanted to. And now that the DIY market is so accessible to musicians to do, you can just make it up as you go along. So if it don't work, change it to do something different.
Number 9. Have you any new projects in mind? Well, we're doing this album campaign, sort of touring. Going to hopefully do some festivals with Centiment. In Me are releasing a pledge campaign on March the 1st for the Destinations EP, which is like, basically we're working on a triple album. Some people apparently think that's incredibly pretentious. Perhaps it is.
Sold out.
We're doing a triple album with In Me, based on birth, life and death, and the birth album's like a rocking album, the life album's like a drawn out Pink Floyd album, and then the death album is obviously going to be heavy In Me, and that's quite an undertaking, so we're doing an EP in the interim to just make an excuse to go on the road again.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're a bit greedy, but no one's in charge.
We haven't done any kind of tour since your solo tour, the Make Believe, which was August? No, before, So, we haven't been on tour for over half a year.
And then Gazz is doing a solo album.
2019.
It's going to come out in August 2019.
I have now finished all the instruments, so I'm pretty much, after the Sentiment tour, I'm going to do the vocals for it, and then stick a few other bits on and then release it. It took a while.
Yeah.
Quite hard when you do it.
I'm going to release another solo album. I'm thinking
Before
even
my first one.
on my birthday. Yeah, before your first one, we would have released Streets of Rage, the EP, and 2 solo albums. But yeah, all sorts of in the pipeline. A little bit too much probably to take in. So yeah, the Twitters and Facebooks. I hate all that, but that's the place to find out what's going on, because we're always doing busy things.
Yeah.
10. In Me is a band that I grew up listening to. You've fronted the band since you were a teenager. Has anything changed over the years?
Well, we haven't grown up.
Has your musical horizons been altered, or do you think you've stuck to the same formula? Oh, lots and lots and lots has changed. Not an awful lot's the same as it was You know, we were teenagers, and a lot changes between being a teenager and being a adult in your 30s. But yeah, we're wiser. We're more careful. We're more involved with the business side of it, because you know we're very much DIY. Do everything yourself. Don't need to get people to take care of things out of laziness. We probably chilled out a lot more, probably more comfortable in our own skins, and obviously I called it yesterday Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. So in me Mark 1 was classic in me.
You should do more stuff like that, Dave.
Yeah, when it was me, Joe and Si, and then we got Greg in, who replaced Joe, and then we experimented with getting second guitarist, because that's kind of how we were recording. And after Ben was in for about a year, I think 6 months to a year, and then that didn't work out, and then got Gazz in 2010, so all that's changed, but that's been fairly solid since then.
Yeah.
Unless they're conspiring to kick me out. But yeah, lots changed, lots, as does in life, I suppose. And musical horizons been altered. Yeah, definitely. And that's what's annoying when people say you've changed your sound. It's like, well, yeah, that was the point, really, wasn't it? Didn't really. You can go and listen to that other album if you. There's no point trying to make a carbon copy of a.
This is what a point that I always say. You do get some fans, and when I say fans that just like the old album, think that anything we've released since or ever could release is inferior. If they had their way, after Overgrown Eden, there would have been another Overgrown Eden released with, you know, same chords, different order, and again, and every worse than they actually did. Every magazine would just go, in me release another album of the same old shit. We'd fall completely out of the press. No one would pay any attention. We'd be bored. And is that what the fans actually want? That we do just repeat ourselves into obscurity? Yeah, we need to challenge ourselves as musicians so that we actually put something quality out there. And, you know, if you don't like it, then listen to another band. There's a million of them that all sound the same you can listen to. If you want to listen to stuff that's good and honest, then listen to us, basically.
Yeah, you don't have ownership over us, and we don't have ownership over you. So, yeah.
But
also,
you know,
like Centiment, Streets of Rage, it's something very different for us. So fresh. I'd regardless of what other people think, I'd be very, very bored if I was still making music exactly how I made it when I was 15. And then Streets of Rage, you know, we're getting some nice attention from people in higher places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Richard Branson's been listening to it. He's tweeted about it. Ricky Gervais likes it.
Dame Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
Rocks out to it in the bar.
Her favourite was Zero Tolerance, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes, big people on board.
Disclaimer: we are huge liars. 11.
That could be a lie though. So, it's like a picture and a picture and a picture. What if you went back in time and killed your granddad?
It's a bit dark.
It's called the grandfather paradox.
We should move on.
Okay.
11. Are you planning on any new releases within me this year? Oh, I've already said
Please see question 4.
It wasn't question 4. That was an arbitrary guess.
Yeah, we are, and they'll be working on I'll be working on the trilogy later in the year, so we might even get some little sneaky demos for bits and bobs here and there. And the ideas are behind it. Well, Destination's EP, I suppose the idea is the destination is the triple album.
Fly.
There's a fly.
Perhaps he'll die.
Bye. Yeah. I suppose the destination is to get to the triple album, so yeah, we haven't done an EP before.
That's the destination, isn't it?
Maybe we'll earn £100.
We're looking forward to maybe even 101.
Dalmatians.
Nah, it'll be a lot of poo. Just one Dalmatian's fine.
True.
Yeah. And the ideas behind the triple album, already been through that, and yeah. Very excited to get in me. It's important, I think.
I've missed it. Last year, we all went, well, apart from missed a lucky one over here. We all went back to day jobs basically of working in the NHS. I've really missed just being out there and absorbing myself in touring. You know, the year before,
instead of being part of something that saves lives.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, the year before we was on tour for over half the year, and just 15 countries, amazing things like touring with Erasmus and playing to thousands of people. And then suddenly you hit reality for you, and it's like, oh, well, we're having a year off. This is boring. And now it's all coming back to life. It's like a little resurrection. So I think we're all very happy.
I'm really glad that we just did this with us two, because otherwise it would have been
silly.
Even longer.
20 minutes.
20 minutes we've been doing this for.
But the good thing is it's been 20 minutes for absolute quality. Press gold. I wouldn't be surprised if this got a BAFTA in itself, actually.
Gorgeous wallpaper, and...
yeah, give them a pose if they want a freeze frame wallpaper.
We want to see this at the top of the article.
We've been Gaz and Dave of Centiment in Me and various other projects. Thank you for watching or reading or whatever this ends up. So
we will continue our musical incest.
Doing how we want, yeah. Cool. See you later.
Cheers.